And it looks like, yay, we're going to get our wish come true as Magnus is with us. He's just talking with his second, Peter Heine, in some beautiful Scandinavian language. Hi, Magnus. Congratulations. You know, you're playing like a world champion now. 5 wins in a row.
I don't know.
How good it feels, huh?
Yeah, the score is good.
The score is good.
Yeah.
All right. Jump right in, Magnus. All you have to do is move. First of all, you're playing Jobava. You don't know what he could. You could do anything, right?
Yeah, I thought he'd play something normal today, but yeah, that was wrong.
You were wrong. B3.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I have to stop you at knight c3. Was that a surprise?
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, what is that? What was your first thoughts when you saw this move, knight c3? Like, what's the guy doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I wondered if his idea was knight c3, bishop g7 to go. I thought it was sensible to go with bishop g7 because d5, d4, then I might not get c5 so easily. I wondered if his idea wasn't even knight e4 here, but it's hard to take it seriously.
Agreed.
But so I have to say that here I overestimated my positions because I think also at this point he realized that this whole lone castle stuff is never going to work, and he started playing very sensibly actually. So
yeah, I must say I feel the same. That because I was so dismissive of his opening, I thought you had a really, really big advantage. And maybe I overestimated it as well.
I think so. I mean, I found it very hard to find anything here at all. So I guess bishop h6 is wrong, but even after something like a6, take. I don't know, maybe a4 or something like it's. I don't know if I really have.
So much.
No.
Okay.
So I mean, my light squared bishop will find it hard to find work, and eventually he can try to
untangle this knight. Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that white is nowhere near playing for an advantage.
Oh, no. I mean, it's kind of in a funny way. If you transfer this bad knight on c3 all the way to the e5 square, the only question is how. If you're a little bit better or if it's equal, you know, the knight's on this terrible c3 square. So
I mean, this bishop h6, I mean, I was slightly hoping that he might play f4. But I mean,
that would have been too much.
To go back and now, I felt like I needed the rook on the c8 square, but maybe I should just have castled, and then if he takes on c6, at least maybe then I can take back with the pawn and have some tempo up on the game. But this looks so natural.
It does.
Rook c8, but now I just couldn't see what to do. So now he takes on c6, otherwise I move the knight away.
Right.
And I mean, if we exchange these two bishops, I think, well, the question is whether I'm slightly better or significantly better. But
clear.
But now when he takes, I mean...
This is the big question.
Yeah,
Why not?
Take with the rook, knight d1.
Right.
And he goes to e3, and it's very hard to do anything positive with black at all. So I could do something like b5.
Your minority attack.
b5, bishop d7, castles.
d4.
I can go b4, c4, takes... Rook takes, and now we should take with the knight, obviously, not to allow this. And even something like this, I can go queen b4, and it looks like I'm pinning him.
Achieving something?
And rook c2, and I just couldn't see what to do.
You just hit a stop.
I just hit a stop. I mean, he can even do something like h4 first to fix these pawns on light squares. And I mean, I felt that there was no question of me being better here, so I can do something like rook c8 instead. But I don't know, c3 even. And I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Again, your light square bishop. If you
Yeah,
were
my-
traded for a knight, you'd be a happy camper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, trade it for any of these knights, and it's going to be torture for him. But now, so
Frustrating.
I was even considering stuff like b6,
Okay.
knight e3, bishop c8.
To get your bishop to
Yeah.
the f1 diagonal. Yeah.
To get it to a6 just to chop this off.
Yeah,
But
right.
well, first of all, it felt pretty ridiculous, and second of all, I think he can play more accurately with castles than bishop c8, rook e1, just anything to
Getting off the diagonal. Yeah. How
knight to
frustrating.
f4, and what do I do next? I have no
Mhm.
idea. His knight comes to f2, and
Mm-hmm.
might be slightly better for all I know. So yeah, I didn't like this at all, to spoil my pawns like this. But,
Mm-hmm. And now it's kind of, again, a slight frustration because after, well, let's say his opening errors, suddenly he's playing very well.
he's playing very well now.
Very well.
Yeah.
So he just c3 and b4, what he did in the
C3,
game
yeah.
was very...
I thought also if I go e4
E4.
immediately, he can go queen f4 or something.
Mhm.
And long term, this could be pretty bad for black.
Indeed.
So I didn't like this. So I played h4,
Mm-hmm.
just try and do something kind of dynamic, but then just takes b4,
Very good move.
h3.
Trying to mix
Well,
things up.
Yeah, actually he could have gone g4 here. So takes. This was my intention, but he mentioned after the move, after the game, queen h6, and now I think there is nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
my well, the basic point here is
That if he didn't have this move,
Yeah,
you
if
were
it-
looking at, say, king h1 or
yeah,
something
king
like
h1,
for
something
example.
like, well, king h1, then knight g4, and his queen doesn't get to f4, and rook e2 is a lethal threat.
Mhm.
Or knight c5, rook takes g4, king h1, rook g2,
Queen f4.
queen f4, and now takes
Change in knight
takes
G4.
knight g4, and well, I'm at least not worse here.
Yeah.
So
You're having fun.
but queen h6, and then so instead I would have had to go back. But I mean, it's not a disaster for black. By any,
Mhm.
I should have more or less efficient counterplay, but
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like it very much. So. G3. Now I think this is more or less forced.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not forced, but it looks very normal. So I'm happy to get c5. Now I'm just playing to equalize again. And
Sometimes you have a feeling that you don't win the chess game one time,
yeah,
the 2 times, and 3 times is sometimes
Yeah,
even
so
necessary. Yeah.
I felt that, well, I equalized basically on the first move. I mean, that's what you get when you play b3. Then
Right.
I drifted a bit. He played very well, but now I'm trying to, again, equalize so that maybe at some point I can play for a win. So I liked to get knight e6 now.
Mm-hmm.
Now it feels like I'm pretty safe.
Mm-hmm. Now, your first objective view at this moment, you thought, what?
I thought the position is a draw.
Okay.
But I mean it is a huge factor that my pawn is on h3.
Exactly.
He can never really get g4 in, and I mean if we put pawns on b2 and b7, then white could press for a long time. But with these weak pawns, my bishop constantly finds some kind of work,
Mm-hmm.
and I think
Objectively draw, but
now
there's some
maybe I can.
imbalances and your pawn
Yeah.
on h3 kind of giving you
Yeah, it could in some lines
work well.
and
Yeah.
it could but I felt like as long as I overpress, I don't overpress, I should not be losing, and maybe at some point I can create winning chances. So
Okay.
I thought this was kind of clever, just to get the bishop to h6, to a6. But here, I think I needed to go queen c5 first, and then only then maybe king h7 and then bishop a6, because I didn't. Because
in the game you allowed him something.
I allowed him to get the knight to e3, because the knight just does nothing on d4 whatsoever.
It looks good.
It looks good, but it does nothing. And once he goes g4, then I can annoy him with queen to c7 or d6, and maybe eventually I can put some kind of pressure on him. But
okay.
I think here knight c2 was a good move. Now I think there's really not much I can do.
Now, around at these parts, I thought, darn it, he's just got a fortress. If he doesn't go crazy with f4 and g4, how are you going to go through?
Exactly. I thought I might be able to go. The thing is, he has to do something in this position.
Yeah, I can't just say pass. I got you. Queen c1, for example.
Yeah, queen c. Let's say queen c1. I was intending bishop b3.
Okay. A4.
Put the pawn on a4, and
nice improvement.
Well, okay, not queen c1, because then I get d4.
Right.
But queen d2.
Right.
And queen b2 back.
Right.
It's passive, but I don't see how I can make progress at all.
That was my question to you. Okay, so fortunately for you,
so he went f4. I think
Baadur is not the type of player
Yeah,
who can't do anything. He's not going
needs
to
to
sit
do
on his
something.
hands, you know. Right. So okay, f4.
F4, king h7. Well, I mean, it seemed like a useful move, and let's give him the chance to make a mistake.
Exactly. Here's the
I
rope.
think still he has a decent position, but now after g4, queen e7, now he needs to watch out.
Yes.
So actually now I don't know what he should do. Maybe he can do something like queen d2, queen d4, and his king hides here, but still,
if there's no perpetual check, you will make a lady.
Yeah, like this, queen to e2 maybe, and then queen d3. Okay. I mean, he's
only you.
Only I'm playing for him.
Yeah. Agreed.
No, I mean, I think g4. That's bad. I mean, clearly, he was in. I think he was maybe even getting optimistic here, thinking g5,
knight g4, and suddenly he's going to give you a mate. Yes,
but I mean, he just missed that the e2 square is available here. And now we have some nice lines. So he really doesn't have a lot of moves in this position. So he can play f5, but then I go g5.
Oops.
And the trap is shut.
Yes.
So he can instead he can try queen d2, then queen here, queen f2, and if he takes,
oops,
that's bad luck. And
if he runs,
if he runs, then f6, queen e7, or maybe king e6.
Okay.
But then I take this pawn. He takes on d5. I go back, and this pawn is gonna queen.
Yep.
So now I think he's
well. That would have been more of a fun
way
of losing than what happened, because what happened was really
I had some other ways, but just
this looked very good.
Looked very good, and if he doesn't take it, I really would like my bishop on e6. Actually, it protects 3 pawns, which is a rare thing.
The bad bishop protecting 3 good pawns.
Exactly. 3 very good pawns. So I mean, something like queen f2. I don't think I should exchange queens as long as his king can get to f4. But now,
this was what you wanted.
Yeah, this is what. And now my queen goes to e5. There's never any question of a perpetual, and eventually must win.
Agreed.
So he tried to take. Now just go king h6 and king goes to h5, and then he has he has no moves. So.
It was this position, this constant threat of checkmate overshadowing the position means that white can all you do is avoid perpetual check.
Yeah,
and
with
all the pawns.
With the queen on f3, it's my pawn on f7 takes away some squares, and my king just goes very
around.
easily to safety.
Very good.
Yeah.
Magnus, marvelous! Congratulations again.
Actually, I went king f5 here.
Yeah.
Just,
after a bad start, it's all you're in the top gear, and you've got a rest day. 5 games remaining. Feeling very good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The way the other games went today, I've needed every single of my my wins in a row. So.
Exactly. Well, last key question for you, if you don't mind. What happened in Ajax Groningen? Did you go to the game?
Yeah, I went to the game.
Was it any good?
No, not particularly. I think Ajax were really good for 10 minutes, and for the rest of the game, they weren't that great. I mean, they won the game, but and I don't think the diehard fans will disagree, because many of many of the fans were booing even though they were even when they were leading. So
lovely.
Yeah.
Magnus, thank you so much.
You.
Good luck.
Thank you.
World champion Magnus Carlsen, everyone, joining with us to share what was his 5th victory in a row, and an impressive one, as he now is the sole leader in the 2015 Tata Steel Chess Masters group. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage as we've enjoyed delivering it to you. We'll have a rest day tomorrow, back on Tuesday. Wishing you all a very good evening. Thank you.
"2014 was a great year for chess. Chess 24 went live as the Tiger returned. China beat 170 nations north of the Arctic Circle. The world champion held on to his crown. A new contender went on a spectacular run. Here's to a 2015 full of more great chess. Follow it here on Chess 24.
So this is the